Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the HNE podcast. This is going to be our main show on the channel. We're going to be talking all things movie and TV shows and trying to cover all the franchises that we don't get to hit on. So, with me, I have Michael.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Glad to be back here on, glad to be here for the first time on our new podcast, HNE. Thanks for having me.
And we also got James with us.
Hi, Diddley-o, neighborinos. It's good to be back here. Actually, no, this is a new neighborhood that we're a part of here. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Andy Serkis is directing Venom 2. This is kind of came out of surprise. I think this was reported about a week ago that he was meeting with Sony about directing it, but he was just a name on the list. That also included Travis Knight, who directed Bumblebee, and Rupert Wyatt, who at one point was going to direct Gambit back in 2015. And it turns out Serkis got the job. Tom Hardy posted a picture on Instagram, then deleted it like a second later because he's like, oh shit, I was too early. But yeah, they officially announced it a couple days ago. And today, Andy Serkis got interviewed at the TCAs for his show. And basically he said that he's excited to work on the film. He's going to bring a lot to it. He's just starting the process of designing it and everything right now. But that Tom Hardy was super heavily involved with writing the script alongside the other writer, Kelly Marcel. So that's good because it seems like with the first Venom movie, Tom Hardy kind of got shafted a little bit creatively. Like we heard all these stories after the movie came out, like his favorite 40 minutes got cut out. And then when you hear that, you're like, oh, uh-oh, that's not good. Like, when he publicly says, he's like, oh yeah, all my favorite scenes were the ones that were, like, cut out of the movie. It's like, ooh, that's bad.
Damn.
So, maybe since the movie made almost $900 million, maybe they'll actually trust him this time and let him do what he wants to do with Venom. But honestly, this is a great pick. I love Andy Serkis for this job. I think he's the right guy because he has that kind of... He can do, like, a quirky sensibility to it. He's got the dark edginess about it too. Also, he comes from a background of motion performance capture stuff, which is what the first film needed, because if you guys know anything about the background for Venom, they didn't actually use traditional performance capture. They had him do all the weird stuff on set, and then they CG'd over his body. So it's kind of like the backwards almost. But I don't know. Michael, what are your thoughts? Andy Serkis directing Venom 2.
Definitely an interesting choice, and I agree with you when you say, he's had that sort of flair and quirkiness that would actually work with Venom, being that sort of 90s or, villain that he is, right? So I think those two mesh together really well. I haven't seen anything really directed by him, and I don't think there's much, if I'm not mistaken. I think the last... was it Jungle Book movie he did?
Yeah, Mowgli, and then he did some other Andy movie before that called Breathe or something. I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I can't really speak on his directing abilities, but I know from his acting, like you said, he's superb, especially with the motion capture and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how he's going to mesh his, just experience in film in general into his directing with a series and character like Venom.
Right.
And I feel like for some reason, I don't know them personally, but I feel like their personalities, from what I've seen, would just mesh together really well for Venom.
Also, one thing that I've kind of been thinking about is I'm not 100% sure if they're going to use Carnage for the villain in this movie. Like, everybody keeps saying but at the same time...
You're doubting it?
No, because... So, they might use him, but at the same time, I know Woody Harrelson is going to be shooting a movie about the same time when they want to be shooting Venom. Venom's supposed to start rolling by November. And Woody Harrelson's got a big Netflix movie starting to film in December. Unless Carnage is just a cameo or something, or has a smaller role, I don't think he's actually going to be the main villain. Which, honestly, is probably smart, because... It would be better if they saved Carnage for a third movie where they could have a big crossover and throw like Morbius in and some other characters, Spider-Man even, shit, if they can get him. But
yeah, that'd be a cool idea. I'm thinking in terms of their like recording schedule. What if they had like only Woody Harrelson for that month? They shot him like really quickly for his the actor for the main character, and then when he's Venom, when he's Carnage and he's fully CG'd, they just get somebody else to do the motion.
They could do that, yeah. That could work because, yeah, like I was saying, They did it really weird with Venom 1. I don't know why they did it that way, but basically they literally, instead of, with regular performance capture stuff, you're wearing like a suit that has like tracking balls all over it and stuff, so you can actually, so they can basically map you out digitally in their software. But for some reason...
But Sony said, no,
Yeah.
we're not going to do what you think we should.
Yeah, for some reason it feels like they spent more money or did it like in a confusing way, where basically they had Tom acting out all the stuff, the movements, but they just painted over his body like in post. So, I mean, you gotta give him props. The effects actually look pretty good in the movie, given what kind of limitations they had. They actually had to make the movie pretty quick, too, because I think they had a year start to finish, so...
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, Venom really did beat the odds, I'm not gonna lie. It had everything against it.
Yeah.
And it made that dough, so
yeah.
It's got my respect.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, James, what do you think about Andy Serkis, though, and Tom Hardy trying to co-write the script?
I think the combination of those two, I think something really good could come out of it. I do think what needs to happen is it needs to have an R rating. I think that's one of the major flaws of Venom.
Yep.
Is that it went for the PG-13 rating, and as a result, the movie is shot, PG-13 style. Like, it implies, like, brutal and gruesome attacks, but doesn't show it. I think the sequel would have a greater effect if you threw in the R rating.
It's weird, too, because the first Venom movie, at least from what I remember when they were, like, doing auditions and stuff for it, there in the dialogue it was R. There was F-bombs and all kinds of swearing and stuff, so I was really confused when they were like, no, it's PG-13, and it was always envisioned as that, because I'm like, really? That doesn't seem right.
Right. And in terms of Carnage, I like Woody Harrelson, but it's kind of a strange choice for him to be Carnage. Like, the first person I think of when I think of someone who could play Carnage is Jackie Earle Haley. I think he'd be a great Cletus Cassidy Carnage. Because looking back in the comics.
Yeah, I think honestly Woody Harrelson only got it probably just because the director did Zombieland. He's like his buddy, so he's like, hey, you want to be Carnage? He's like, all right.
I don't know. Woody Harrelson doesn't really exude Cletus Cassidy.
I think he could have.
Oh my god! Do you know who does?
Who?
Wait 1 second. I'm thinking of the name. He's in Westworld. Everyone always forgets his name.
James Marsden.
James Marsden. I feel like he could do a really good job of that. Give him some fucking redhead Jerry curls.
He too late. He's stuck with Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think Woody could have been good. It's just for whatever reason that post-credit scene, he was just playing it really weird, and also his look was awful too. I don't think he played it right. I think he played it too Hannibal Lecter-y, where he should have been. Everything I remember of Carnage, even from like the animated shows, the comics and stuff, he's very animated and like kind of wacky. Mm-hmm. And in that credit scene, he was like all serious and everything. I'm like, dude, what? But anyways, on that note, that is going to end the episode. Thank you guys for tuning into the HNE podcast, episode 1. Like we said at the beginning, it's really great to be back, finally doing this podcast. And I think, from what I was talking to Josh earlier, we might be doing 2 episodes a week with like rotating people. So yeah, if you want to ask us questions to get answered on the show, you can tweet at HNE Social on Twitter. Just tweet at us. I guess you can use the hashtag AskHNE Podcast. Without further ado, Michael, where can the people find you at?
Yeah. If you guys are interested in following me, feel free to check out Fail Whale Prod on Twitter or Failwell34 on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, James.
All right, sorry, YouTube.
Oh, yeah, YouTube.
So for me on Twitter, you can find me at Hair Beverage. That's HERRBEVERIDGE. Or you can find me on Instagram at Bevs1865.
All right, and if you guys want to follow me online and talk about movies, TV shows, comics, games, whatever, you can find me at who's_Nick everywhere. And that's going to be the episode. We'll catch you guys next time.